All right, guys, welcome back to the Home Service Expert. Today's going to be awesome. I got my boy Peter Meyerhoff here. He wrote the book Against All Odds. He's an expert in motivational speaking, podcasting, and resilience. He's based out of L.A. The podcaster is called Roll Call with Chappie, and he's, like I said, the author of Against All Odds. He's got an incredible story, and we're going to be going over it. At 15 years old, Peter became involved in a life crime and drugs. At 18 years old, he was sentenced to 12 years in prison and ultimately spent nearly a year in solitary confinement. But since his release, Peter turned his life around. He's become a best-selling author, motivational speaker, podcaster, and entrepreneur. He currently runs a sober clothing line and has also created a prison curriculum app that helps inmates transform their futures. Peter's story is about resilience, redemption, and refusing to make excuses. Today, he's not just an advocate for change. He's living proof of what's possible when you can turn pain into purpose. Hey, it's a pleasure to have you, my brother.
I appreciate that. The only mix-up is I'm based out of Arizona, not L.A.
Oh, you are in Arizona.
People think that because I do so much stuff out in L.A. and I'm always like, I'm going out there next week. I'm out there every month.
Yeah, because you're at Queen Creek, right?
Yep. Queen Creek just built a house out there last month with my beautiful black wife. And that's crazy from an ex-dude that used to run yards for the Aryan Brotherhood.
Wow. We got a lot to talk about, man. Tell us, about your story, where you're at today, and where you're looking forward to going.
Yeah. If you want to get into the backstory of like how I got there, I said I had it good as a kid, but I realized now that I have kids that I just like blocked all the bad stuff out of my childhood. So I don't have too many memories, but like my parents, I lived in a cul-de-sac, so it was cool till they were 10 years, till I was about 10. My dad was a drug addict, alcoholic. My mom left him when we were 10, and that's when the trouble started. I went to go live with a single mother who was a flight attendant, so 4 or 5 nights a week I was home alone. And when you're in middle school, if your mom's not there to wake up and make you go to school, are you going to go to school?
No.
Usually not, So I usually would have attendance about 1 or 2 days a week at school and started going down the bad path. So anyways, I go to prison at 12 years old. Run how I went to prison?
At 12?
I mean, at 18 years old for 12 years.
Yeah. So that's what I want to know.
I end up...
So when did you drop out? You were...
Freshman year.
Oh, so you're like...
I never made it to a semester of high school.
15.
Yeah, never made it to a semester of high school. I got probably 2 or 3 months of high school.
So you got 4 years of your life just chilling, doing drugs, off.
Doing drugs and off. Okay. And getting arrested. And the thing is, I would always get arrested for stupid, dumb shit, though. When you're a kid, you could do anything. Like, literally, like, there's been multiple times, like, the cops were on there telling my mom, like, come pick your kid up. She's like, I'm not picking him up. He needs to go to jail. And they're like, we can't. He's a juvenile, man. That's what they tell my mom. So I still kind of have that mindset. I steal a Mercedes-Benz from the Mercedes-Benz dealership right here, brand new. Like, still had plastic on the seats. This is back when Gone in 60 Seconds came out. So they were they're like, they're unstealable. They have the red laser cut keys. And I'm just like, that's all we did. We guard all night. And like, I've been the first to believe I was not no big time dude on the streets. I was a little petty shithead thief. Like, literally, that's all I did. We'd go around, and it's embarrassing even saying the shit I did now. Like, we'd go around just stealing shit all night long, like with bolt cutters and stuff. So that's what I did. I stole a Mercedes-Benz there. I get arrested. LoJack had just came out. Didn't know nothing about LoJack, So I get surrounded 2 hours later. And, I get 3 months jail and probation now, right? Even then, I'm like thinking, damn, I just robbed a Mercedes. I only got 3 months jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now like the fear of jail is gone from me. You know what I'm saying? Because I always had that fear in the back of my head. Like, we don't know what jail or prison is really like. You know what I'm saying? Now I've been to jail. It sucks, but it's not that scary. You know what I'm saying? And I only got 3 months.
It's not like the deep prison.
Yeah, no, and and I was on minimum security shit, so it was nothing gangster. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then I'm like, now that's all gone for me, and I only got 3 months for stealing a Mercedes-Benz. I'll just be a little bit more careful this time or whatever. And spring break, which should have been my senior year of high school, my brother and his friends come back. What's crazy is I went to prison for burglarizing a house that was already burglarized. And whose house it was my best friend that didn't stand up for me, which is why we did it. So coming full circle, right? So 4 years later now, it's spring break, and they're the most spoiled, rotten, rich kids in all of Altoona. They have like a 15,000 square foot house out there. And they're in Hawaii. My brother and his friends come back and just had a bunch of shit. And they're like, we just burglarized the Nelson's house. We're like, where are they at? They're like, they're in Hawaii. And I'm like, oh shit, they do go to Hawaii every spring break. We're like, so no one is there? Like, yeah, no one's there. We're like, bet. So like, I'm just keeping it on the low. And like when my brother's friends leave, because they drink, so they're going to pass out at 2 or 3 in the morning. Me and my buddies, we don't sleep, we're on drugs, So when they go to sleep, then we go back to the house. Because that was the only deal, like, do not go back to the house. We're like, no, we won't, So go back there. I know where the house is. The back door's open. I don't even make it out of the garage, bro. Like, I was going to take just stupid stuff. And coming full circle now, it's just crazy how you can see, like, I just wanted shit that I couldn't afford. I took Jordan basketball shorts, Jordan sandals, and a snowboard and a drill. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now it's like, it's such a, like, my kid wears Jordan shit every single day now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I can never wear that shit as a kid, and it feels so good. Just little shit, just seeing my kid come up to me, you're wearing Jordan shit. I'm like, dude, it's now it's cool seeing the life I get to raise for my kids because
How many kids?
I got 2 little babies now. So, anyways, we do that. I don't make it out of the garage. My buddies come and they take all the jewelry upstairs, and we get home, and he pulls out this bag of jewelry, man, and it's like a bag of jewelry, $330,000 worth of jewelry. And I'm like, keep in mind, I'm not no big time dude. Like, this is bigger than my drug dealer that we go steal shit and give it to him and he give us drugs and money. Like, he can't even buy this shit. You know, he lives in a trailer on the south, right up the street from here, South Phoenix, bro.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I was having flashbacks. Anytime I turn on Broadway, I have flashbacks.
Yeah.
And, of course, 10 kids involved. My friend that took the jewelry, of course, tells the cops that he was sleeping at my mom's house. I burglarized the house. I even told them where the jewelry was hidden because I'm on probation, so now I'm this hard ass, so I ain't saying shit to the cops. The other 5 kids that went to the house first, every single one of them said that I had did it. I had told them I did it. They don't know nothing about this except that I told them I had done it. And they say they're going to make an example out of me. And I'm just like, bring it, you know? Like, I think I'm this little bad, tough-ass dude, you know? And worst case scenario, I thought I'd get like 2, 3, 4 years. And at this point, like...
Did you have a court-appointed attorney?
No, I actually had a... So I had a court-appointed attorney at first, and then when they were still trying to give me the same plea, 4 to 6 to 9 years, my dad had got me... I had the attorney that ran for the attorney general for the state of Arizona. And he lost the election right during my case. I had the worst judge in Arizona's history. They ended up banning him because he was too harsh on his sentences afterwards. But they didn't resentence me, and they sentenced me, and I'll never forget his words. He goes, I find it mitigated for the fact that you're only 18 years at the time you committed this crime. He goes, I also find it mitigated for the fact that I think you have a drug problem rather than a thieving problem. He goes, and his next words were, but I think this also calls for an aggravated sentence of 12 years. Oh. And I was like, and I remember before my sentencing, I told my lawyer, because we were looking at 4.25 to 6 or 6.5. And I was like,
didn't the prosecutor give you a
plea bargain?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how dirty this is. I got a plea. So all the kids that did it, all they had on me was all these kids telling on me, right? I know they'd already did it. And then by the time I got my police report, the 5 kids had all got seen. They went to this house in the daytime. So it was a maroon Malibu, had got seen and spotted by the neighbors. So I'm knowing if it goes to trial, like I was the only one I knew. I wore gloves. My fingerprints were nowhere. These all kids that got spotted. And my brothers, and they're all kids. I'm like thinking, worst case scenario, my brother gets probation. I take this shit to trial. I skate on this, right? So I fought my case for almost 2 years in the county jail. Nobody's in there for like non-dangerous crimes for that long, right? Like literally nobody.
Yeah.
And I was in there for 20 or 21 months. So, but they won't budge on this. So then what do? A year into my case, they charge my mom, my dad, and my grandma all with my crimes. Because my grandma lived in my mom's house, and they said that my mom and my dad knowingly possessed the stolen stuff and didn't do anything about it.
Oh my God.
Right? So now I'm fighting this.
That's crazy.
And they don't budge on anything still. So then finally we go to the settlement conference. And everything's recorded in court hearings, right? Except a settlement conference, because a settlement conference is your final mediation before you go to trial, okay? So it's the last step. So for your settlement conference, you're gonna go in front of, I don't remember the name, but I went in front of a different judge, and it's like a mediation. So it's not recorded, and it's just like, they put you guys in a room like, figure this shit out before you wanna go to trial, because they're saying you don't really wanna go to trial.
Plus it's expensive.
Yes.
Plus they throw the book at you.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Just please
yeah.
figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? That's like tell me like, you really don't know what you're looking at if you lose in trial, and they're telling the prosecutor like, yo, you don't really wanna go to trial, this and all that. And then, so I tell him to give me a different plea. She says no. I said, okay, how about this? Drop the charges against my family and then recommend the minimum. I said, you do that, I'll sign your plea bargain today. Minimum is 4.25. She says, if you sign this plea, I'll drop the charge against your family and recommend the minimum. Cool, done, whatever. It is what it is. So I signed the plea bargain. So now I know I'm gonna get 4.25 to 6 or 6.5. I remember telling my lawyer, like it was yesterday, you just gotta make sure I don't get the 6 years. I cannot do 6 years. Like, I cannot do. I'm claustrophobic. I'm everything. Which is why I say, like, you can do anything you want to as long as you train your mind to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, I lived in a 5x7 and I'm claustrophobic, you know, for years too. Like, not only a year in solitary. And I go to my sentencing. At this point, I'm just ready to go to prison. I've been in county jail forever, right? So I go there and you're like all shackled up together. Your lawyer usually comes and talks to you right when you get to.
Wait, you said I can't do 6 years. They gave you 12.
Yeah.
And then they count the 2 that was in the county?
Yeah.
So
I went to prison in May of 2005, got locked up in April of 03, and I got released in February of 2015.
Dude, don't you get out earlier for good behavior or anything, or like appeals?
I got out of Supermax under investigation for attempted murder. Like, I didn't behave good in there.
Oh, you didn't behave?
Yeah.
Oh my
God. The exact opposite. I didn't change my life until like I overdosed on fentanyl after I got out and found God.
And what year was that?
A year after I got out.
So 2018.
No, 2016.
So that you got out in 2015, 2016, you almost died.
And then, no,
So that's 9 years ago.
Just over 10, because I have 10 years sober now too, yeah.
Oh,
and then
okay.
made $2 million the next 5 years with zero education, no help, nothing.
2 million.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so keep going. I want to hear these details because I don't get a whole lot of stories.
I was going to
like
say, people
this.
don't ask these details, so it's pretty cool even me talking about this now. And it brings it up for me too, because sometimes, I tell dudes the worst thing I can do is forget how shitty my life used to be. You know what I'm saying? Because then I'll get complacent and I don't have perspective and I don't have as much gratitude as I should have.
Yep.
So
you got these shackles.
Yeah, so the sentence
walk-
comes around. My lawyer wouldn't even look at me. I knew, I have goosebumps. I just knew it was a bad day. I just had right then when he wouldn't look at me, I knew there was something was wrong, And what I should have done going back is I should have had her cap the plea, because if I would have told her cap the plea, which means she said she'd recommend the minimum, but if I tell her to put, no, it can be in the plea bargain. It can say, and I'm recommending the minimum for this. I didn't do that. You got the
best lawyer.
I didn't do that because it's a lawyer. She's telling me to my face. How am I thinking a lawyer's going to flat out lie to my face in front of a judge? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then she goes and my lawyer hands me this pre-sentence report, which they do before you get sentenced every time, which is they do like separate people go through the whole case and they kind of give the recommendations to the judge on what they should do, right? He gives this whole thing and he's like, here's this. And I'm like, what the F is this? What do you expect me to do with this? What am I looking at? And he points right here. He goes, that's her recommendation. And she recommends 13 years. I'm like, but she said to me, I know, man, but it was from in front of a different judge. We don't have anything recorded. And I'm like, oh my God. And then we do the talking thing, and I was like, what? There's no chance the judge is going to give me this much time, keep in mind, I've been in there for 2 years now, so I've seen dudes, murders and manslaughters, 5-10 years. Like, I've seen all this shit. There's no way they're going to give a kid like me 12 years for a theft charge. Like, not to mention, I didn't even think 12 was even on the table. I thought the worst case scenario would be 6 to 9,
Yeah.
And then he says that, and I go from like bawling my eyes out when he says that 12 years to like just flat out shock. And then the next thing I know is you can hear like just the court erupt, man. And I turn around behind me, and like my grandma's there, and she's like flipping out, like, please let me hug my grandson because he's gonna be dead by the time I get out now, like barely holding himself up, like so like you've seen in the movies, bro, And I have a big family. It's crazy now. I made it through all this when I don't talk to any of them.
You don't talk to your grandma?
Oh, I'm sorry. My grandma, my mom are the only two people in my entire family I talk to. Both
you don't
sides.
talk to your dad?
Nope. Not any of me. And my dad.
What about your uncle?
No, my dad's 27 years sober.
So you don't talk?
I don't talk to the last talk I got into my uncle was like, I will whoop your ass. I'm that dude now.
You said that to him?
To my uncle, the one that taught me how to box.
So you don't, you talk to your mom and grandma only?
That's it. I don't even talk to my own brother that like we're like this.
Your younger brother?
Yeah. And
what's the deal with that?
I had a hard time being this because I don't ever want to badmouth my family and shit like that. But like here's the thing, like I'm a servant for God, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like my message is supposed to help people. So like if the truth hurts, then my brother needs to change, And like I won't have negative, bad stuff around my family, And whether
so your uncle, your dad, your brother, you just don't feel like they're living
they don't
the path.
Every one of them. I don't associate with bad people now, bro. Like blood or not, like I'm a firm believer. Like just because you have the same blood does not mean your family. Like I have dudes that have not even a trace of the same blood as me, and like I would die for them, and they would do the same for me.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Prison will teach you real quick, like about loyalty, man, and how important it is to have someone that's like loyal to you, like really loyal to the core, not just saying they're loyal to you.
Well, loyalty. So you go in and there's a few. So talk to me about.
It's hard to even picture because I was a model. I was in a movie as a kid too. Like I was a stud athlete. Like I was 6 foot, 144 pounds with long blonde hair, like a little pretty boy.
And this was. What did you weigh when you went in?
6 foot, 144. And
that's when you went into prison?
No, okay, so I put on like 20 pounds in jail, so I think I was like 160, 170. And then I got released. I was 6'4", 264 pounds.
What do you weigh now?
220, 225. But I put on, I can't do the math, 120 pounds in there, and grew 3 inches. I barely had armpit hair.
Yeah.
I was the last person to hit like puberty out of my friends. Like I was like literally just like a little kid when I went away, bro. Like, and honestly, it made it easier for me though, because it'd be so hard, bro, if I knew that life was this good out here. Seriously, I didn't even know what I was missing. So it kind of made it easier for me, That was after 2 years in the county jail right there too.
Oh boy. Wow. So tell me about the gangs. I just want to hear a little more. I want to jump into what the future looks like.
Yeah, for sure.
So you walk in. And what did you get, in a bunk with someone else?
Yeah, in a little cubicle, like you're an absolute nobody. They run the rules down to you, like, yo, here's what it is. Like, you got 12 years. Like, you better pay attention and put your head down, you know? And like, you know why they call it a sucker punch? Do you?
No.
Because you're the sucker if you get punched. I was like, what does that mean? He's like, if someone raises their voice at you, you even think you're going to get into someone, you just take off on them. And I was like,
You take off,
on them. I was like, really? I was like, we can do that? He's like, yes, this is prison. He goes, you don't ever let someone get the better hand on you. If you even think you're going to go there, he goes, it's always better to say sorry afterwards.
So you hit him.
Yeah, that's what they tell me to. So then I ended up using this on this same guy like a couple weeks later. And my first fight in prison was the guy that ran the rules down to me and was running the building and was built like me and you now. And I was built like 160, 170 pound kid back then. So,
and you had already learned a little bit about boxing.
I used to box, so I already know and I have a cheat code. You know, if you actually know how to fight and have like a trained person, like no one on the streets knows how to fight, you know, and that goes for prison, the same thing, you know? So like out of the streets, 1 out of 100 knows how to fight. In prison, 10 out of 100 know how to fight, you know? So, he says some smart ass shit about us playing cards in his little cubicle area, and I already made up my mind after count time I was gonna like take it there, like say something where we had to fight. And I'm just good on reading vibes. I knew no one respected me or looked at me, and I was like, I'm gonna at least show these guys I can fight, you know? So he does it and then says, I'm gonna teach you little young punks how to respect your elders, and goes to take the chew out of his mouth and turns his back to me while he does this. I'm like, dude, you told me the rules here, you know? So like I'm on top of him within 5 seconds, doesn't even get a hand on me. They end up ripping me off him and beat the brakes off this dude. And the next morning, like the weirdest thing about going to prison at first, especially when you're a popular kid, is like you're a nobody, bro. No one cares about you. Like no one even talks to you. They're going to see if you're going to last a week or two. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, no one even messes with you because they think, especially a kid like me, a little pretty, like they're like, this dude's going to check in 2 seconds to request protective custody. You know?
And but you was it like there's gangs you either got to go with or not, right? Like so there's like
I only have one choice. I can either run with the Aryan Brotherhood or I can be a lame. Those are the only two choices.
And then the other ones are
you got the Mexican Mafia. You have Sureños, which is the Cali guys. Glendale's so big. Glendale has their own race and gang in prisons now too. And then you got the Paisas and the Border Brothers for them, which we were at complete war with in the prison before I left. Like literally full on war.
And that's when
they had to separate yard. Murder each other. Like dudes, the head dude of the Aryan Brotherhood was like stabbed the head dude of the Mexicans and killed him and his right hand man right in the yard in front of everybody.
And these guys are doing, what were their sentences like?
A lot of them are not even like so.
Were they like less than 10 years and they still did that? Now they're doing life.
The main guy that was the top dude for the Aryan Brotherhood that I'll show you afterwards, and he's like a man of God. He's the most remarkable dude I met now. Came down for a 3-year burglary charge back in the 90s and murdered a black dude in the chow hall and picked up 30 years. Came down for 3 years.
And when you get out, some of these guys, they do you know Andre?
Norman?
Yeah.
He was just on my show last week.
I know Andre really well.
Okay, and he was just down here on my show last week.
He was like he says he's one of the bosses.
Yeah.
He's like, look, he'd walk in and be like, make me a sandwich.
I made him say that story on my show too. Yeah. Yeah, Andre's cool as shit.
So like that's one of the guys.
Same kind of stuff, yeah. And that's the same thing. So you can tell by the dude's verbiages and stuff like that, yeah, how it is. And that's like, and you know what that says is that Andre, not only that, but he did time on a real yard because those real yards, those cops just want to go home, bro. They're not trying to start no shit. They don't want no problems or any of that stuff.
Oh, there we go. That's my man. We'll hit him up later.
Yeah. Small world, right?
So now you go through all this and you go through the struggles, and who's visiting you?
So then my mom, my brother, and my dad. I always had visitors. I always had chicks too. Like it was just kind of easy for me, you know. Like I always say, like I had the toughest time possible. I had it as good as possible with all that stuff. You know, I always had visits and stuff like that, and I always had comments. Especially when you're running yards, you have to have that stuff. But so that was addicting for the attention. Like the next morning when I come out, like all these OGs that I used to like looking on the yard, you know, like or now want to shake my hand, you know, because they heard this little kid Wade that was running the building, you know. So now they wait out there to shake my hand, and now it's as addicting as anything possible. It's like making your first money when you're trying to become an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? And I just jump headfirst into the politics, and I'm like, oh yeah, if you guys want anybody smashed, please let me know. Like I don't like God. If He's real, He don't like me.
Wait, this is right when you get out.
No, when I get in, right when I'm going in. So I'm getting into politics now. And then by the time I was 23 years old, I ran my first yard, which is the 4-yard I was on. No joke, like pulled a corrections officer. I had that yard so crazy. I was in a relationship with the CO. I had the lieutenant on the team that was helping us make sure we could go certain places. We were drinking promethazine with codeine on the yard, smoking blunts on a 4-yard in the morning. Just, it was like U of A to me, bro. That's why I say that was my taste of college. But then you get your first predator packet, which means they say like literally the state and staff says that you're a predator on the yard and it's automatic maximum security. So that was my first one. I got 4 of those done on me.
Maximum security is hell.
5x7, 5x7. You can touch this. You can't even do a push-up beside yourself. And you're in there 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. The only time you get to get out is you get to go to a rec cage. That's the same exact, smaller than this, but dirty-ass concrete. And you get to go out there. They shackle you, walk you out there like that, and then unshackle you once you're in the cage. You're never out of your cell without full-on cuffs on. And so you never even do that. And like bird baths, you take a bird bath in your cell because showers is like, when you go to the shower, you get a shower either Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Not to mention that by the time they put you in the shower, say you're up on Henry Run. They put you up on the shower in Henry Run, then they go down Ida Run, whatever, all the way down to Abel Baker Charlie on the other side. So by the time they come back to you, it's almost an hour. Like you're full on drenched in sweat in this little hot ass, shower that you just went in. So like I don't even shower, bro. Like when I was in Max Security, usually I'd spend a year not even leaving that cell, bro.
Oh,
you spend a year in the same freaking cell.
What do you do?
And I'm claustrophobic. You
read? Did you get like, are you?
Do you want to know how crazy it is and how hard my time was? I'm so ADD and ADHD, I never even read in there. I was in VCU where all you get is a Bible and didn't even open it.
Oh, jeez.
I would just pace, and I still know my thing. I would pace 1.5 steps this way, 1.5 steps this way. And you know why I would do it like that? Why I still lean like this is because it's always freezing cold in there. So every time you're in there, all you do is like this. You have your hands in there because they don't give you anything. You go like this, 1.5 steps this way, and then my shoulder bounce on the door like this, and I turn around like this, go 1.5 steps that way, and then my shoulder hit the other wall.
Oh my gosh.
And you just pace for 12 hours. It saved my life. I was 170 pounds on the yard, strung out, shooting dope. I go to the hole for 11 months. I get out 263 pounds. Finally, I was able to get 11 months of like, not even positive shit, but at least not just doing drugs on the yard and this prison politics, you know what I mean? And I'm actually able to like, every week I get a phone call, so I'm calling my brother, my mom, and I'm actually talking like normal stuff now, not yard politics, but I'm hearing every day for 12 years straight. But I got out of prison. I didn't even know what to do, bro. Like I didn't even have a plan. Like I thought somehow get a construction job, like try and figure out how to get sober, but like have no fun, but at least you're not in prison. Like that was like, if I can find success, that's what it looks like. And I didn't even know how I was going to do that.
And so you get out.
And I'm entitled to party. Never been on a date, never worked a day in my life, never been to a bar, never done any of this stuff, right? Like I was a little kid when I went out. So like any normal good place would be to spend time would be Sandbar. So I went to that Sandbar over there in Ahwatukee 6 days a week.
I opened that Sandbar.
Yeah, pulled chicks there. We were part of the ones that closed it down, but pulled chicks there like every day. Would just hook up with chicks every day. Did nothing positive. Get an assault case on parole, blacked out, and then overdosed on fentanyl. Blacked out. Wasn't even doing drugs, but I was blacked out drunk, and I had to go through my phone afterwards. And I ended up leaving the bar, blacked out drunk, and one of my youngsters from the joint literally hit me up in Guadalupe. I drove my truck from Hobnob right there in Chandler to Guadalupe, blacked out drunk. Don't even remember driving it, and wake up in an ambulance. 9 months out of prison, and I'm like.
It was fentanyl?
And I wake up in an ambulance and I'm like, I've been out of prison 9 months. All I've done is drink and party. I haven't done nothing bad, but nothing positive either. Like nothing, like I'm not.
Did you have a job?
No. I have this mindset, who the hell wants to hire me? You know what I mean?
What did you like, just mom's helping you?
My dad would give me $1,500 a month at first. Okay. That's it, just to live off of, and he's like, and that was the deal. I'd have to like act like I was putting in job applications every day.
Yeah.
And I wake up in an ambulance and I tell the paramedic what the hell happened. And he's like, you overdosed. I was like, I don't even use drugs anymore. He's like, you did today. By the time they got me to the hospital, my heart was only beating 6 beats a minute. They gave me 7 shots of Narcan, had to resuscitate me. When they found me, I was dead, no heartbeat, completely dead. This is another reason that I really believe in God. I didn't find this out until afterwards. My ex-girlfriend's sister found me, right? She went home after work to go tanning. So she pulled in the parking lot, parked her car, got out of her car, walked up to the door, put her hand on the door to open the door. She said the second she put on her hand on that door, something told her to go home for some reason. So she said she took her hand off the door, got back in her car to go home and take a nap, and finds me dead in the bathtub. If she even walks in there and then decides to go home, like another few seconds, I'm probably not here today, And like instantly I remember in that hospital bed, I was thinking like, why did I survive this? Why couldn't I just died, man? Done with this life, man. Like I was done, bro. Like I still hadn't even worked, so I didn't even know like if I was going to make something of myself. Like I felt like I've been fighting my whole life, bro. I was just done. But I always wanted to kill myself, but I never would because of my mom, And I just wanted to die. And then I went from that moment to like thinking, maybe I was saved and this is like God, and maybe this is my chance to like try and get sober. And so my little talk I had with myself in that hospital bed is like, how much do you want to like prove that you're entitled to go drink and party and pull chicks and have fun? Or do you want to at least try and get sober and figure life out at least once? Like, and told myself, give yourself a shot. You've never even tried to live life, Went out to South Dakota, stayed with my dad, went to like 2 or 3 AA meetings a week, had no idea what to do. But luckily my co-defendant was the finance director at a marquee up in Scottsdale. So he's going to give me a job to go sell cars, and I got out. And my dad sent me back here with 5 pairs of khakis, buy one, get one free at Kohl's, 5 dress shirts, buy one, get one free. And I had to pay him back my first paycheck and made 10 grand my first month ever working selling cars. And 13 months I was in finance manager, making 350 grand a year with my own office and just murdered shit. I just turned a drug addiction to a money addiction and got sober and just changed everything, bro.
So you go into cars. My dad used to run Amco on Scottsdale and Thomas. He owned a transmission shop before that. I grew up at auto shops.
Dope.
So I love cars. I bought and sold over 1,000 cars.
Really? Wow.
I bought them on Craigslist. I used to buy G20 Infinities, Honda Civics, and just clean them all up, put new tires on them, change the oil.
Flame.
And my dad would fix them if they needed anything.
Yeah, that's dope.
But that's great. So you got 350 grand coming in. And then what's the next calling after this?
So then, I do that for 4 or 5 years. And like, you know, as well as anybody, like money doesn't make you happy. It's cool when you first get it, but then after a while, all it does is open your eyes up to more expensive stuff. And then you realize you don't really have as much money as you think you have, you know? And then it's like, so I did that and like, you know, worked forever.
A lot of hours, 70 hours a week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm working all these hours and I'm just like, I have this, you know, $1 million house, but it's like, what am I doing this for? You know, like I'm not meant to do this. I know for a fact I'm not meant to do this. Had no idea what I was going to do, except a Vice TV producer had reached out to me. And have you ever seen that show, I Was a Teenage Felon?
Yeah.
So season 2, episode 5 is my whole life story. It's the shot caller episode. So Vice producer reaches out to me and I was like, I had 400 followers on Instagram. I was like, man, I'm trying to make a run at this shit. Like I'm dumb and naive as enough as it is. You know, I have
You got a great story.
Yeah, I got a few hundred grand saved up and I'm like, if this Joe Schmoes can get Instagram rich, I can get Instagram rich too. You know, that was my mindset back then, you know.
Yeah.
But I knew I wanted to help you. I knew my story wasn't meant to sit in that office all day long, you know. And I was I was on the free rents at Indian School right there. So the finance office is like the glass window one at Marquee. If you ever see it, if you drive by, you'll see it now. Like that was my office right there. So like Saturday, I would just look at cars driving around the free and I'd be like, dude, I used to spend Saturdays locked in a cell. And I'm like, now I'm just locked in another cell out here. You know, it just felt like this was not what I was meant to do. But I had no idea or no experience. I hadn't done anything positive. Like I'm not one of those guys that did schooling or programming or anything, you know, like, so I don't know anything. I just know how to sell shit, you know? And, but I saved up a few hundred grand. I was like, I'm just going to go meet with whoever the hell I can. Don't even know who. But I had a rule with myself. I went to a different gym every day and I would at bare minimum at least get one new dude's phone number every single day and go up to the dude that looked like you know, had nice shit on at the gym or something like that and just go spark up a conversation, you know? And I used to get roasted by my brother and his friends back then because they'd say I would go to the gym to pull dudes. But I'm like, look at the network I built by myself though, literally 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like you asked how I met Snow, like just the same way I do, just networking. I don't know, but I know everybody just like you do, you know? And so I did all that, and then luckily, you know, if someone tells you, I get interviewed on a couple shows, and they're like, this dude needs his own show. So I try and launch this podcast, and launched the first episode of that one, gets 20,000 views, and I was like, holy shit, we might be on something here. And started the podcasting for a few years, and you know,
wrote the book.
Yeah, started playing some crypto, ended up writing a book, and then meet my just amazing wife, and then to come full circle, you know, like I had white pride tattooed across my stomach, got it 7 sessions, the most painful shit ever, got that completely removed. And I had to tell my wife at first, like, you know, like I had 1 session left, but I told her like the second day I met her, I was like, yo, I got to tell you something, because I had a bad experience with that, not telling a woman before. I just flipped out on me in the middle of the night when I first got out. So I tell her and she's like, oh, I don't care about that. I'm like, are you serious for real? Another cool thing about my wife is I don't know stuff except for what I see. So I'm like thinking this gorgeous black woman. I'm like, my only rule is don't talk politics with her before, you know what I'm saying, before you see what kind of woman she is, you know?
Yeah.
Her second day over at my house, she's like, I just got to ask you one question. I was like, what? She's like, what's your political beliefs? I was like, I don't really do politics, you know? She's like, but come on. She's like, well, who do you believe? Would you be like conservative or a Republican if you could say? I was like, all I could say is this, I don't like Joe Biden. She's like, oh my God, thank God. And I was like, all right, we got something on here, you know? And she grew up Mormon, like complete polar opposite. She was an all-American volleyball player.
She's Mormon?
Yeah. Grew up. She has
Mesa?
Queen Creek.
Oh, she was in Queen Creek.
Yeah,
as well.
so she has the kills record at Colorado State, then went to Grand Canyon, got her master's degree, full rides everywhere, was going to go play professionally overseas, but tore her Achilles. And she knows she's a chick I just want to hook up with, and I would have never even tried to have a relationship with her because I was like, I'd have to do way too much fixing internally to date a woman like that, you know? And not to say it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. It's just such a far understatement. Like this woman changed my life beyond belief. Like changed it in ways like I didn't even know was changed, and like made me believe that like I can do so much. At first, I just thought I had to get sober. You know, like that's just such a.
It's a low bar.
The barometer, like that's what these old guys in AA, they've been sitting on it for 30 years, going to AA meetings. It's like, cool, congrats, bro. You got sober 30 years ago. Who do you help? What have you done, or what have you fixed on top of that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, their dream is too small.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
That's most people that I meet. They're like, I want to do this. I'm like, yeah, that's money. What else?
Literally. And then what are you gonna do after you do that, right?
And then they say I do this all for my wife and kids. I'm like, what about you?
Yeah.
If you can't love yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the thing I'm most proud of now is like, so I was kicked out of prison, right? Like I'll tell you this, when I was in that solitary confinement the last year, right? SSU, who's like the gang detectives in there. If you get booked on anything in prison, it's from the SSU staff, right? So once we find out this guy survived and everything, now I'm like, all right, this investigation's up. The investigation is supposed to be for 30 days. It's called a 2A investigation, right?
Okay.
They can extend them every 30 days, but whatever. It's usually a month. Sometimes they extend it twice, right? So they come in. I've been here like 3 or 4 months now, and I'm telling SSU, I was like, yo, what's up? You guys got to let me out of this hole. Like, let me go to the yard. I'm like, you can't expect me to go home after 12 years and solitary confinement and then make something of myself. That was back. I'm thinking they want you to succeed. And he's like, no. He's like, you're done. Literally told me, he's like, you're done. He's like, Meyerhoff, we're done with you. Verbatim, he says, we're done with you in here in prison. We're going to let the streets have their luck with you. You're going to sit in this cell until you go home. And my release, dude, I was released in 5-point shackles walking to my release cage. Like with all the release guys walking their own thing, I was separate with 5-point shackles completely walking in there. And, you got to see the video after this, but I had no idea what to do. And now I have one of the biggest podcasts. So they all have tablets now. So I have this, I'm the second most downloaded dude in all the prison tablets across the entire country. The only dude that's bigger is that Eckhart Tolle and God Behind Bars because they do their stuff together. And I develop prison curriculum now that I get to teach to prisons all over. And prisons and states pay me to come teach inmates what to do now.
What are your number one lessons? Well, give me
Mindset's number one anything. Like routine and mindset is anything because people, you're just like you said a second ago. People are like too small minded. Like you just have to get them to open up their mindset to show them what's possible. Like here's the deal. Like I thought I had a cheat code, and I thought I was doing a disservice to everybody that had been locked up before. When I made 10 grand that first month, and I was like, I got that first check, and it was like $4,400 after taxes for my bonus check, and I was like, oh my god. All it did was show me, holy shit, it's possible. And I remember thinking like, why the F didn't they tell me that we could do this in prison? You know what I mean? You know how much harder I would have tried to do something productive if I knew that? If we would have known that we could do cool shit when we get out of here, people are going to try a lot harder in prison. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And which is why my curriculum's so different because like anybody you see watching go to these prison yards, they're going to minimum security yards, these low security yards, and they're talking to these dudes that are in and out of prison their whole lives. Like I go to the high security yards, like Soledad, that place I went. That's it's called a direct out from the SHU. So anybody that comes from security housing, which is Supermax, goes directly there. It's your first yard ever out of the SHU, and if you don't make it there, you go right back to the SHU. And then when I got done with that program there, and I get these killers on the yard, bro, to like cry, bro, and like literally act like I've never even seen dudes in prison act in my entire life. And not only that, when I get done with there, you know what the warden tells you? He goes, dude, where do you want to go next? I was like, what's a higher security prison than this? He's like, Salinas, but he's like, we can't go to Salinas. I'm like, why? He's like, they're killing each other right now. They're killing cops and everything like that. He's like, no one can go to that yard right now. And I'm like, all right, if they cleared up, can I go there? That's what I want to do. Because when you get the shot callers to pass it down, you can change 100 lives with one person. If you're just changing those little kids that are in and out of prison every 2 or 3 years, you're not changing nobody. You're barely changing 1 out of 1,000 of them. If you can get the shot callers to preach this shit on the yard.
Well, the other thing is change it in the streets.
Yes, absolutely. Which is
because they can make a big impact going, look, you guys, you listen to me. They were big.
Which is why I finally do coaching out here too. I didn't want to forever. Like no joke, Frisell is one of the guys that talked me into it too. And I didn't realize how many people are just like, don't know how to live life, bro. You know, like, and that's what I feel like I'm a pro at, bro. It's just, you could throw me anywhere, but I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I always said like this, like you could put me in the middle of the mountain of Afghanistan, and in about 6 months a year, I'm gonna be running that mountain.
Yeah,
I don't know how, but I will.
Fire.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got the same trait.
I never went through, dude. You know what's interesting is somebody's cat could die when they're 9, and that will traumatize them for life. And somebody else could watch their mother overdose, and it doesn't mean anything of the way they were lived. So you don't know what people go through and what's a lot for people.
100%.
You've been through a lot more shit, dude. I've had a lot of impactful things, but I look back and I'm like, man, everything happened for a reason. I had great parents. They went through their own trials. But at the end of the day, like one of the most important things is, look, I got a lot of people that don't believe the same way I do. Not in God, but I just had to have a big heart and just say, you know what? Look, I'm not going to coach you on this, but you know, your uncle, your dad, your brother, I don't know, maybe if they seen you, and plus you got kids, and obviously you don't want them to leave a bad influence, but if you met with them every once in a while.
For sure, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Let's hear it. No, I want to be real.
Yeah, the deal is for me.
If a guy like me, like, dude, I didn't get to where I did not listening to dudes like you.
Well, it's just, you know, I would never want regrets. And I tell you, dude, there's a lot of regrets I have. It's like my dad almost died through COVID. And I prayed hard. I'm crying, going to visit him. And he's like, I'm not ready to go. And I said, if you let my dad live, not only will I be a better son, but I'll tell everybody on every stage. And this guy calls me a year later and goes, did you make a deal with God?
Shut the
No, I'm not kidding. And I got goosebumps, man.
I got goosebumps
I'm
right now.
walking around and he goes, I don't know what you did, but I imagine you on your knees praying. And I was like, who are you? He's like, I'm not any crazy, you know. He goes, this is the first time I've ever done this. He goes, but whatever deal you made, make sure you keep it, because just as quick as he gave it to you, he could take it away. And I was like, oh boy. I redid my PowerPoint. Yeah. And so the first thing I do in my orientation is show them when I got baptized. And like, I believe in Jesus Christ. But listen, I'm not going to tell you guys whatever religion you are. I'm just telling you who I am. But yeah, it's important. And
wow, man. That's incredible.
I started hanging out with Travis Hearn. If you get a chance, you need to go meet him at Impact Church.
I would love to. I've only been to 2 churches. It's been an Impact, and then I go to Echoes with Daniel Goulding out there now too. But yeah.
And dude, I'm going to start, like, I feel like it's my obligation. Like, if you are, 4 out of 5 people will go to church if you invite them, but nobody invites them.
Really?
So I'm going to go blow that church up, dude. I'm going to bring our A1 trucks out. We're going to get there 45 minutes early. I just want to go once a month and just show up and be dressed like this and just say, listen, guys, if you want this life, I don't care if you come or not. I'm just inviting you. And then you decide. And I'm going to go meet with Travis, have him talk to us.
I'll tell you this, like now, like all the cool shit I've done, everything, like even the, like I'm most proud of the parent I'm now to my kids and stuff, but like, because what's crazy is like the household I raise right now is one I've never even seen except in the movies, which is crazy to me. Like think about that. I get to like raise my kids and have like a standard in my household, and they get to like see love in my household that I've never even seen in my entire life. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my wife are like this, bro. Like 5 times a day, I'm like, babe, anytime I get up, do you need anything? Can I do anything for you? Like checking on each other, like putting the other person first and making sure the kids go first over anything. Like out of anything, I was going to say, I'm rambling there, but out of anything that I was most proud about, it was, damn, I just lost my train of thought that I was saying with that.
It's all good, man. We edited this shit. So you teach mindset. Where are you going from here? I mean, what is your big, hairy, this is goal? What's your dream?
My dream is I want to be the biggest speaker, and I just want to travel to prisons across the entire world, bro.
I got so many people I'm going to introduce to you. 3 that come to mind, and all of these guys came from prison. One of my buddies, trafficking a lot of cocaine. Spent a long time. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars today. Another buddy, changing people's lives, getting them in shape. Sean, I want to introduce you to these guys because, I don't know if you enjoy kicking it with guys that know the serve time like you.
Yeah,
and then Keegan came out. His dad had a small business, electric business. Well, Keegan learned how to do HVAC in prison, and he stayed in the hole because they transferred him to Atlanta. And he's like, I can't go out there. Like he's got stories and he gets teary-eyed. And so he just spent it locked up and he gets out. And you know what's crazy about prison? If these guys come out, if they want to make it, they can make as much money. They could have any relationship. They could live the best life ever if they choose to. Because they've been to rock bottom. It's straight up.
That's what I teach.
And it's like this, if they find their brother, and I don't even want to call it a brotherhood. I like to call it a wolf pack because wolves will attack. If an animal attacks one wolf, they all come in. They all
attack, yep.
And Navy SEALs, all wolf packs. I spent some time with Jocko, Extreme Ownership. And dude, he's soft when you're with him. He lives this David Goggins kind of hard face. I'm not going to say he's a soft dude, but he's been through the ringer. And dude, he gave me some of the best compliments ever. And he's like, look, if you ever want to get into business, I'm an investor. Just call me. He's like, I'm in. And like, I get access to these people, but I don't go in there going, hey, dude, here's what I want to do. Wait till you see me. I'm just like, hey, man, can we be friends? I want to learn from you.
Yep.
And I'm going to take notes and I'm going to actually do the work.
Yeah.
And so, dude, I like your story. I love your story. And the fact that you're going back to the prisons and the impact that it could have externally, I mean, that's real. And that's impacting, that's massive, massive impact.
Not only that, but like I said, dude, it makes your mom safer at home.
No, we got a rule here is treat people like mom. And if you didn't raise by a great mom, maybe it was a grandma, maybe it was an uncle, maybe it was a coach, but just do the right thing. And I don't need to teach my guys sales. I'm like, smile more, play with the dog, make friends, and do what you would do for your mom's house. Yeah. If we do that, we're winning.
Absolutely.
But they can't believe. Here's the hard part. A lot of people believe that's a lot of money. My buddy that lives in Fresno, his average ticket in HVAC is $38,000. Average ticket. And I go, what's a lot of money? If we all wrote down what's a lot of money, somebody would put 10,000, another person would put 10 million. It's not like when you own a house, you want things done right. And if you got 2 little kids at home like you do, you want to make sure they're trustworthy with your wife when she's alone in the HVAC or the whatever goes out. What other things do you want the audience to know about?
Don't ever stop finding your true purpose. You know, like I can't tell you how many guys that I know that I work with now, they're 30s, 40s, 50s, and like just still feel lost and feel like they don't know where to go. It's never too late to restart. Like I didn't start working until I was 30 years old. I never worked a day in my life. Like you could, whether you're 40 years old, and I did that stuff, and I semi-retired within 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like you could legit restart anything. And another thing I like to do is I try to get dudes from prison like ready to attack the world. Just like you said, they've had their backs against the wall. Like when they get done, like going through my program in prison, the number one thing is their mindset should be that they have an advantage on regular people out here because of what we've been through. So when you can literally use your screw ups to help you better off, like you have an advantage on the normal society, you know?
You embrace the failure and you remember where you came from, dude. It's hard. Like, listen, would you rather hire a PhD or somebody that's been through 10 years of literally war and business and they've been through all the mistakes?
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, there's a great book you need to throw on the top of your list. It's called A Man's Search for Meaning.
Okay.
And the dude went through Holocaust and he made it out. And when you could find meaning in a place like that, I mean, I would imagine that the Germans, that was worse than prison when you're watching your families getting murdered. Every Jewish person just treated like their bones, their arms are smaller than my wrist. And that's the ultimate to go through that. And you know, read more of the Bible. I want to. I got a book that every day it's a new scripture that I just read, and then there's the Bible app.
I know. I just got that Bible app. So that's what I read. I do that, and I've been reading I don't even know, like the book of John or James, one of the two. But
yeah. Well, my dad could quote every scripture. And by the way,
that's how I strive to be. I used to strive to make a lot of money and all that stuff. Now, you know what's crazy? Like my number one goal is, aside from like raising my family great, is like literally I want to be able to just like know the Bible like the back of my hand, you know? And like I want to be one of those guys that, like, I always say to my wife now, like I want to be one of those guys that I would have made fun of when I was in prison, called him a Bible thumper and stuff like that. Because like, why not? Like all this stuff that we do, like look at our lives, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously.
I wake up every day and here's the cool thing. Like I don't have any pain.
Yeah.
I live in the United States of America. Like some days you're like, man, I just want to do more. And you're like, what? Dude, I am drinking out of a fire hose 24. It's self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Like my mom goes last week, she goes, hey, honey, you seemed really quiet the other night at dinner. Are you okay? I was like, well, A1's got 920 employees. I got the family office launching 3 softwares, not to mention 20 other investments. I've got my event with 1,500 people, and that's growing. We're building 2 houses. I'm engaged. We want to have children.
No,
I'm like,
dude, that's the... No, oh my God.
That was really just popped in, but
I can't even tell you.
It's like, I'm good, but just know I'm in my own head a lot.
Great, yeah.
I'm in my head.
Yeah.
But there's one day a month where I kind of like, man, why do I do all this? And then the rest of the time I'm like, dude, let's go.
You know what I just started doing 2 weeks ago with me and my wife too, is like one day on the weekend taking no phones.
No phones.
Yeah. It's a big thing. And it's you don't realize how much, because even I'm pretty good, bro. Like I'm really like, I change all the diapers. Like I wake up with them every morning and night. Like I'm a very, very,
no
very
phones on
active
Saturdays.
Well, we're doing this Sunday this week. So we just pick a day, like whatever we have something going on, you know, like, but we're doing this Sunday, no phones, me and the wife, you know, and it does make a difference because even if you're not bad with it, like you realize all your attention is there. Like you don't realize how much you're just flicking it on commercials, you know, and it's like, instead, then it's just like you're playing with your son or something the whole time or giving your wife more attention. It makes a huge difference.
No phones, maybe no phones, no TV. That'd be crazy.
Ooh, wow. Then you really get to know. Well, the weather's nice now, so you could do that.
Yeah. You know, I was with a buddy yesterday in this room, and he sold his house in Paradise Valley, or in Arcadia, and he sold his house in Canada, and he just lives. He's been to 70 countries.
No
and all
way.
they do, he's got two duffel bags he brings, and he works 3 months in each different countries. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I could do that. But he's like, dude, I live the best freaking life.
Imagine that.
And he's on major stages. He gets paid $100,000 per stage. You know what I mean? But by the way, I love stages. I love my time. But every time I leave here to do a stage, I'm losing a shit ton of money.
For sure.
But I'm impacting lives. So what's it about? Is it about money or impact? So
I can't believe you have that many employees, bro. Congrats.
Yeah,
That's huge.
no, they're my coworkers. We're a good team. The thing is they've changed my life just much, if not more, than I've changed theirs. So
That's awesome.
how do people get a hold of you, Peter?
On the gram is Peter_Meyerhoff. My website, petermeyerhoff.com. I'm on every platform though, TikTok, podcast. Don't forget that. Roll Call with Chappie on every platform too, YouTube, all that stuff. I'm on everywhere, bro.
What's your favorite podcast you've done?
No offense, Josh Snow, bro.
Really?
And I'm not just saying that because he's coming up here. I tell people all the time, bro. Like,
What did you like about his podcast?
when you know the whole circle of all the big dudes around everywhere, like 90% of them dudes are fake. Even the ones that aren't fake, 80% of those aren't genuine. Like, he's just real genuine. And like, to be honest, he gave me a shot when my show wasn't even really big. Like, I was kind of shocked he would do my show. And like, this is the kind of guy Josh Snow is. He showed up to do my show. Remember, I'm like just starting. I think it was like my 20th episode. Like nothing big. And someone just vouched and he came and did it and then showed up like 10 minutes late because he forgot to bring me presents. So he went to Best Buy and dropped $1,000 getting me all his products from Best Buy and then gave me a whole bag of all his snow products he just bought from Best Buy so I could try all his products. And like, just the greatest conversation. And like me, you always get it wrong. Like I'd always think of a guy when you see someone like him, you're like, dude, whatever. How much money did his parents give him? Or how much, you know what I'm saying? Or how many,
He saved his parents' house. I was partners with him when he was 17.
And grew up, and I heard what you did. That's why I'm a huge fan of yours. Like, he speaks more than highly of you. But, and then when you found out he grew up on the south or on the west side of Phoenix and like, didn't even have a computer. Just crazy, bro. And like, he's the only podcast I did where I was like, holy shit, no way. Then what? Oh my God. Then what?
He is a brain.
What? Yeah.
Like, he sits down. And I don't know how he does it, man, but you talk about brilliance. I don't know what his IQ is, but I was like,
he's confusing to even talk to. Like, even when I hang out with him, I'm like, dude, like, I feel like I need a decoder to even talk to you. You know what I'm saying?
I literally was like, he's like, dude, I need garage door help. I showed up there with one of my guys. I'm like, hey, give him the 9, fix everything, replace it all, give him new openers. And I said, Josh, give me 1 hour a month. And he would have done that for free. But he's like, dude, he's like, by the way, he's like, I know every group you're part of. He's like, you're one of the only real ones. He's like, these guys drive Ferraris, dude. They don't have any money in the bank.
Yep.
But
for sure.
No, man, I appreciate it. Give me one book. Is it because you just started getting into reading? Is there any books that you would recommend other than Against All Odds?
Besides Against All Odds, the only book that I can legit being real to my character and not lying to people is the Bible.
All right, let's go. And finally, close us out, man. One final thought. We talked about a lot of cool stuff. We know your story. Just give the audience something to think about.
Life is hard. It's hard for everybody. The only time that you're never going to progress is when you actually give up. The only thing that I did right for, I always say 31 years of my life is that I didn't give up. I don't take no for an answer. If you believe in yourself, you can literally achieve anything. The fact that I'm sitting here today should show you that. And if anybody is not happy where they are, the only thing stopping you from getting the life you want is you just doing the same thing over and over again every day.
Oh, I love it, man. Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, thank you,
appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
That was a horrible handshake on my part. All right, that was great, brother.